Update on my cryptocurrency mining node and a TSA warning ahead of the travel season right after the crypto rundown. My roots on this streaming journey I've been on has been about cryptocurrency. It initially started with cryptocurrency. I got into it because of the hardware, and then this led to other things, and you're learning new things. I learned how to stream just by talking about cryptocurrency. One of the things that I did last year was to start making that transition from being a solo crypto miner with these cheap home uh, Bitcoin miners. And instead of joining a pool, I decided to create one. Now, the task seemed to be a little bit more involved than I initially thought. I had done videos on using things like Nice Hash and Brains and, solo mining through pools, but you never see any return off of those at all. Never. The previous experience I've had when I was still mining with GPUs, when you still could do that profitably, was even with Nice Hash, you were able to turn passive income off of very inexpensive, very um, hardware light cards, like an RX 570, I think I had. And that thing worked. It worked, and it made about $100 a month. Literally paid for themselves in like 4 months, which is more than what I could say for any cryptocurrency miner you can buy today using the SHA-256 algorithm. But again, my journey started with that, and I made this transition to try to become my own pool. And what happened when I tried this project is that initially it started syncing up pretty good, but then it started slowing down on the sync. I kind of washed my hands of the project, but I just left the thing plugged in. It's sitting behind a wall somewhere next to a hub that I have in the house. And it's been well over 4 months. Now, to, to put it in perspective, it should have only taken a couple of days to sync this device. Using the bare minimum specs, which was like 8 gigs of RAM, and I bought this little PC with a Windows operating system on it, or put a well, actually, that already had a Windows operating system on it. But the memory was hard soldered to the board. It was part of the board. It's one of those mini BMax computers, BMax Pros. And yeah, that thing, I don't know whether it's the hardware constraints or whatever it was, it just never synced. I am now 4 months into this thing. It never failed, but it just never synced. I'm at 90%, and I'm just going to let it rock out. I don't know what that's going to do to my potential of ever earning a block on this node, but just having it and going through the process of setting it up without failing is cool. Now, that machine didn't come with a big enough hard drive, so I'm using an external solid state drive that I plugged in with an external stick. And it's still in the process of syncing. I just cracked 90% of the initial sync, which is insane. Um, if anybody had some experience with this, maybe drop me a line and tell me what you thought or what you think or believe the problem is. My background in hardware lets me play around with things, but I am the first one to admit that I don't know everything, but I know how to put things together. and I know how to configure them. If there was some kind of hardware defect that you can think of, maybe it's my Ethernet. Not sure. I have decent Ethernet um, from my ISP. It's fiber optic based. You know, plenty. Bandwidth. Just kind of curious. Again, my community is so small when it comes to African American cryptocurrency miners. I don't have a whole lot of people in my general vicinity that's still into it. But I do want to network with people to see what their journey has been thus far. I want to know if this still is a worthwhile venture for many of you. Um, Me, it's a hobby. But drop me a line and let me know what you think. So, what is the reason for this newfound interest back into the thing that got me started? Well, it's a convenient distraction. It's an educational distraction from everything that's going on in the world. I like to learn instead of focusing on all the terrible, terrible things that are going on in the world right now. And this is my outlet. The reason I'm talking about this right now is because there is a new action that's being talked about, actually, not talked about. It's going to be implemented starting tomorrow. ICE agents will be in Hartsfield International Airport. Now, as far as the ICE agent controversy is concerned, I do not believe that they're up for the job. We have experienced 5-hour waits in that airport just to board because of the partial government shutdown and the lack of paid TSA agents. So, what does this administration do? Send unpaid ICE agents with guns into an airport to secure it and using it as a political football. This is the epitome of being completely out of control. I have a family trip planned for next month. It doesn't look like this partial government shutdown is going to be resolved anytime soon. We got the word through the Atlanta mayor's office that yes, they've been in communication with the administration and this is happening. Um, I am not prepared to go into Hartsfield and see more armed guards. And when 9/11 happened, I was still able to fly. We saw it, but we knew what that was about, and everybody was on board. This is a whole different ball game. The presence of these people with their public relations being what it is just not good. And in a city like Atlanta, an international hub, this is not going to go over well. We may attempt to go down there early. Again, my flights and for me and my family, it's not for another month, but I need to make sure that everything goes as smooth as possible. I'm not sure if the TSA quick checkpoint or pre-verification is an option at this point, but we're going to look at it and we're going to try to get that done. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because you have to stay aware, not only of the financial outlook of this country, but everything that's going around you, so you don't get caught off guard and you're not surprised about what's going on. Things are happening at breakneck speeds and are going all different directions, and nobody seems to have control over the impulses and whims of one political figure. And this is causing such uncertainty in everything we're doing, whether we're talking about our finances, um, our gas prices, our grocery prices. Everything is being affected by the whims of a truly undirected person. I'm trying to use my adjectives and adverbs and pronouns, adjectives and adverbs very carefully, very carefully. And the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to project my actual feelings about this individual, out of censorship from this platform. Don't want to do that. I think the only reason that individual is in there is because of his supporters and enablers. Because no one can look at how things are going and still believe that this is a proper course of action for this nation. Just not. Just think of all the things that we're not even talking about right now. Tomorrow begins yet another chapter of this mess that's happening. Um, and I want you guys to be aware of it so you're not caught off guard by it.